My name is Jessamine Koenig, and this is the explanation of the articulation agreement process for the University of Tulsa Study Abroad program in Tulsa, Oklahoma. An articulation agreement is an agreement between two partner institutions that allows students to create a study program in one university and still receive credit in another. It may be used between universities within one state or between two international universities. According to the University of Western Australia, several steps are necessary to develop articulation agreements, including creating a feasibility study that is then sanctioned by various officials in both universities. The feasibility study examines the proposed partnership between the universities, what type of agreements, the reason for the partnership, how the outcomes will be perceived, how existing or previous links to other institutions in the country or region will be affected by this partnership, and any other resources that will be necessary. Attached is an example from Florida International University to examine how one university has several articulation agreements in place with various international programs. The University of Tulsa uses the Center for Global Education to prepare students for successful professional lives within a global world. This program creates and manages the TU articulation agreements with various international universities. In order for students to study abroad, they must first be full-time TU students with an adequate GPA. They must also meet language requirements and demonstrate that their proposed study plan will fit within their overall graduation requirements. The Center for Global Education works to create affiliated and unaffiliated programs, which both must meet the course requirements that the students have for graduation. Affiliated programs demonstrate that a specific articulation agreement has already been reached between the institutions, while an unaffiliated program requires an individual agreement on the part of the student and the specific universities. Whether affiliated or unaffiliated, students must ensure that the work they do in programs abroad will count toward their U.S. graduation requirements. Therefore, both universities agree to a grading policy or a pass-fail reporting process so that there is consistency and accountability for students and institutions alike. Other requirements for the study abroad program include withdrawal requirements, course load requirements, and maximum length of study requirements. The Center for Global Education at the University of Tulsa has a lengthy list of host countries and institutions that are part of the affiliated programs, which can ensure reliable programs in both institutions. If a student prefers to study in an unaffiliated program, he must demonstrate that the program cannot be achieved through one of the already approved and affiliated programs. In order to receive approval, the student must get specific information about the following information from the host country institution: academic requirements, housing arrangements, orientation programs, health and safety protocol, program costs, and other contact information. Several examples of unaffiliated programs include the following list. These are listed on the University of Tulsa Center for Global Education programs, but these are hosted outside of the Center for Global Education program and will incur additional costs and paperwork in order to attend. The Center for Global Education is committed to use TU tuition fees to apply directly to the affiliated programs. All financial aid and scholarships can be directly applied, making the process easy for study abroad students to it. Articulation agreements are helpful to create simple program access for students to join the affiliated programs in a wide variety of host country institutions, gain a new experience and awareness of the global nature of education, and then return to the University of Tulsa without any further difficulties.